Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Stinkin Sports. I'm your host, Nicholas Stinkin, and the GOAT got in the game. Trace McSorley got in and threw a 70-yard touchdown pass to Marquise Brown. He threw it on a dime on the Wednesday loss to the Steelers. If he would have played the whole game, the Ravens probably would have won 35-0. I mean, it wouldn't have been close. McSorley would have gone 50 for like 53 with like 537 yards and 5 touchdowns. I mean, it would have been insane. But we saw that was great to see him come in, for the meme and everything. It was a relatively boring game as a whole. Robert Griffin did not play well at all. Kind of threw that game away for the Ravens. Their first score before McSorley got in was an easy setup via a muff punt by the Steelers. However, the game was really never close in the sense that the Ravens had a chance to win. Their offense could not do anything. Steelers receivers dropped plenty of balls, though, but quite frankly, should have been a blowout. On all, Steelers stay undefeated. And let's jump right into the Sunday matchups. We have a football Friday today. Let's start off with the Saints versus the Falcons. Listen, last time this matchup occurred, Taysom Hill had his first starter quarterback, and I picked against him. This week, I pick alongside him. He's playing extremely well. Michael Thomas is back, playing really well. Kamara and Latavius Murray, though Kamara's carries have been have dropped and lessened because of Taysom Hill's playing time. I still think he's a great back, and their defense is playing phenomenally. So right now, give me the Saints against the Falcons. I mean, their defense is so vicious, forcing on these turnovers. Next, I have the Browns versus the Titans. And listen, Derrick Henry is about to eat the Browns defense. They won't be able to stop him. Not like anybody can, but the Browns especially won't be able to stop him. He has rushed for over 100 yards in his past 3 games, and I expect another freak outing by Derrick Henry. The Browns have had an easy schedule, by far the worst. They're far worse than what their record says they are. And they struggled against rushing teams like the Raiders. I mean, Josh Jacobs ate them. So I expect Derrick Henry to do the exact same. I expect Baker to turn the ball over at least once. And as a result, like a huge win by the Titans and just some Baker turnovers, and the key win for the Titans to move them to 9-3 and keep them at the top spot in the division. Next, I have the Lions and the Bears. Listen, Matthew Stafford is playing god-awful, and he's questionable for Sunday. And the Lions are still without Kenny Golladay. Oh, and they fired Matt Patricia. Bears. Their defense is good. They're too good for the Lions right now. Stafford's playing absolutely horrible. If the Bears can drop 17, they win. That's all you need. Okay, their offense is horrible, but the Lions' defense is not good whatsoever. I will ride with the Bears on Sunday. Bengals versus the Dolphins. Listen, there are going to be a lot of short reviews, or a lot of short predictions in this video because of the matchups. This is one of them. Bengals versus Dolphins. Dolphins. Bengals without Burrow. That's the only reason I need. No other reasons needed. Dolphins for the win. Their defense is going to absolutely eat up the Bengals. Jaguars versus the Vikings. Another one. Vikings. Easy. Jaguars are the second worst team in football. Cook and Thielen are going to eat. Vikings. Colts versus the Texans. Now listen, Deshaun Watson is playing like the best quarterback in football right now. I mean, he's been unstoppable this past couple games. We saw what he did on Thanksgiving. He is balling. But he has no Will Fuller due to his suspension for 6 games. He has no defensive help and a lackluster offensive line. The Colts are coming off an ugly loss and looking to prove themselves on Sunday. I mean, and listen, their defense is so good. They have a good running back duo with Naheem Hines and Jonathan Taylor. Phillip Rivers, is on and off, but I expect him to be on against a weak Texans secondary. The Colts need a win. The Texans are playing for more victory. And listen, the Colts need to win. They get the win. Raiders versus the Jets. I got the Raiders. Alrighty. The Giants with the Seahawks. Listen, 2 teams with poor defenses. Let's not kid ourselves. The difference is the offense, and that's why I have Seattle winning. Seattle is a top 3 quarterback in Russell Wilson, a young star in DK Metcalf, a strong number 2 in Tyler Lockett, and a decent running game with Carlos Hyde, Chris Carson, etc. Meanwhile, the Giants are running with Wayne Gallman at running back, Daniel Jones at quarterback, and wide receivers Darius Slayton and Golden Tate. Yeah, listen, I like the Seahawks. Listen, their defenses, their secondaries, both lackluster. I mean, that's the weak spot for the Seahawks. We've seen it all year. They've been abused by teams with good offenses, but I think their offense is far superior to the Giants, so I give them the win on Sunday to stay in first place in that NFC West division. Next, I have the Rams versus the Cardinals, and probably the best game of the weekend. Due to many games being pushed back to Monday and Tuesday, which we will get to on those respective days. In the game of the week, it is a must-win game for the Cardinals to remain above 500. regardless, I've got to go to the team with the better defense, that being the Los Angeles Rams. Listen, you've got to think that Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods are going to eat against the Cardinals' weak secondary. And that being, and the Rams defense is just straight up better than the Cardinals. And the Cardinals have a mid offensive line. Their secondary is not playing very well. I mean, the running game has been lackluster without Kyler Murray. And, D Hop, I think, is going to be locked up on Sunday for the most part, really limiting his catches. Jalen Ramsey will probably be on him all day. Aaron Donald, I feel like, is going to be responsible for kind of to contain Kyler Murray in the pocket, just push people and make him come out and keep the spy on him. So, I don't know. I just think the Rams have a good defense. Their 5-wide scheme matches up really well against the Cardinals team with no great secondary. Patrick Peterson has really fallen off. So, as a result, I like the Rams to win on Sunday after a big, after a couple big weeks. So, give me the Rams. Next up, I have the Eagles versus the Packers. That's going to be the last. I have the Patriots at the Chargers. Listen, I like the Chargers. I feel like Joey Bosa will cause havoc for Cam Newton, who's struggling with an injury right now. And I'm feeling that Justin Herbert will just go out and ball against the Patriots defense that is far worse from last season. Not saying they're bad. No. They're just not as good as last year, and I feel like they're being kind of touted as good as last year, which as a result, I still think they are. I feel like Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Mike Williams will have good days. I feel like it'll outlast the Patriots, kind of like the Texans did. So as a result, I like the Chargers on Sunday. I think Herbert has another great game. Eagles versus the Packers. Listen, Carson Wentz is a mess. I mean, his mechanics are awful. He leads the league in interceptions. He gets sacked all the time. The Packers defense is playing much better. The secondary is very good. And Aaron Rodgers is unstoppable right now. I mean, he's unbelievable. So is Devontae Adams. I mean, first off, start Jalen Hurts if you're Philadelphia. Second, if Wentz is playing, the Packers will win, and there's no doubt in my mind. The Eagles are not a good team. The Packers are a good team. The Packers have a very great quarterback. The Eagles have one of the worst in the league. I mean, they have the worst quarterback in the NFC East, in my opinion. They really do. I think he's worse than Dalton. I think he's worse than Smith. I think he's worse than Jones. I mean, he's horrible. He's horrible. And finally, the final game of Sunday. It's kind of a short week, it seems like. I have the Broncos versus the Chiefs. Listen, the Chiefs offense is going to obliterate the Broncos defense. And we remember what happened during the first matchup. I mean, the Chiefs dropped over 40. The Broncos offense sucks too. Drew Lock is not it right now. I mean, he's been tossing interceptions left and right. He had a couple against the Chiefs earlier in the year. I mean, I like the Chiefs by a lot. A lot. They're the best team in football, and I expect them to prove it on Sunday night in what seems like a very easy matchup for them. And I got a couple NBA moves. First off, I like the Blazers. I like the Wizards. I don't know if I told you all that. I like the Blazers just because of Damian Lillard. But usually, if I'm going to pick a team, I'm going to go with the Wizards. We just traded away John Wall and a first-round pick for Russell Westbrook. I love the trade. Listen, Wall hasn't played in over 740 days. And Russell Westbrook seems to be successful wherever he goes. So I'm perfectly fine with the trade. I had no special feeling for John Wall like that. I mean, yes, he was in D.C. for 10 years thereabouts, but he's so injury prone. He's been out the past two. I'm fine with this Westbrook trade. And LiAngelo Ball, the middle Ball brothers signed with the Pistons, making all three in the league, which LeVar called years ago and is a big step in NBA history. Could be a little sneaky pickup for the Pistons. But right now, that's all I have for you guys. So if you didn't, one more thing. LeBron James' new contract, going to shoot him through 2023. $85 million. Big deal. He's coming off that title. I don't blame the Lakers whatsoever. Now that's all I have for you folks. If you did like the video, please consider liking and subscribing to help the channel out. Ring that notification bell. Drop a comment. Leave your opinions on this Sunday's game and the John Wall trade. And